What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're reacting to the penultimate episode of One Direct Priority. This one's titled An Adult Child. It's kind of creepy considering how we dealt with the ending of that last episode, but I think this is the penultimate episode. This show is listed as 12, however they did something very bizarre in using a full numbered episode 8, right? Episode 8? I think it was episode 8. Yes, episode 8, as a recap episode. Normally when you have recap episodes, like we've seen before in this series with Promised Neverland and Skate, it's episode 9.5 or 8.5 or something like that, to give it a context of, this isn't a full numbered episode, we'll be back to the regular episodes later. This didn't do that and said, this is episode 8, a full episode of recap, although there were some extra little bits kind of thrown in there, like very minor bits that really you don't even need to watch for the most part. So, to that reason, this is the penultimate episode. And I kind of wonder about that. I've seen some people thinking that maybe this is a problem as to how this show's going to end. I've said on the video I just did of Gekidol that endings are usually the most problematic parts of a series, because how do you have a satisfying ending where you can wrap things up, especially if you try to do too much in the initial premise? How do you wrap it up in a very satisfying way where you don't leave too many loose ends, but enough if you want to expand the project further? Like, get more people interested into the source material, or prepare for a second season, etc. I've seen people worry about that a little bit, which is understandable, especially when you have a delay like that in episode 8. It's like, that doesn't speak of a huge amount of confidence. But last time out, we had a very interesting episode that certainly sparked conversation when it comes to transgender characters, because the show has implied that despite Karu being a trans character, still ended up being classed as a girl's suicide. And I know that can spark a whole thing, but maybe it's and since these eggs are kind of picked by Aka or Aka, or at least they have some say in it, as mentioned earlier in the season, maybe like an episode earlier, actually. Yeah, maybe they're trying to make a statement there. I don't think the author's trying to make a statement. I know some people immediately went, oh, the characters in this show did this, therefore the author is transphobic. Like, I think that's a stretch. Like, maybe look at things that the author himself has said before jumping to a conclusion, rather than what his works have said. Like, you can write some pretty nasty stuff in your work. It doesn't necessarily mean you believe it as yourself. It's like, it might be trying to highlight something that you are vehemently against, for example. Like, I could talk about racism in a book that I wrote, for example. And if I write a character that is extremely racist or prejudiced to a certain people, it doesn't necessarily mean I believe that. It means I'm trying to highlight this issue about this personification. Like, it's like I'm writing a character. I'm not writing myself, for example. So I don't really agree with the way that was spun, but it is an interesting discussion in that regard. But yeah, as a result of solving that egg, we did end up with Moe completing her journey, and what's-her-face, Haruka, being released and disappearing. So we don't know actually what happened to her, but we know Momoe is kind of extremely fearful of death after coming across a weird butterfly girl, which, thanks to your guys' information, it would seem likely that this is the personification of Thanatos, the death god that they've mentioned. And there's some symbolism when it comes to butterflies, metamorphosis, in tarot decks, Greater Arcana, death and change are similar, and therefore you've got different word meanings, different word plays, different cultural meanings of it, and how butterflies can resemble death, and all this. And it's like, it kind of heavily would suggest that. Which makes me wonder, what on earth are Aka and Uraka planning in this segment? Like, what's their goal here? Like, they want the god of life, right? Or they're trying to do something with it. Confusing. I'm not fully there yet on what exactly it is. I'm hoping this episode might help with that. But yeah, the idea of them trying to defeat the god of death and therefore overcome death kind of makes sense because like they have already shed their mortal bindings essentially and are now living in these dummies essentially. So they've already started to conquer a lot of the causes of death. I mean, I think their brains will deteriorate regardless anyway, no matter how well supported they are. I don't know how long you can keep a brain functioning outside of his vessel. I don't think that's not been done yet, really, has it? So, yeah, um, yeah. I'm getting mixed up in my own head now. It's terrible. Whenever we have complex stuff like this, I always get mixed up. But yeah, um, leaving that aside because I'm sure that's going to be expanded upon in this bit because that makes sense. Where this episode title is kind of going is back to Sawaki Sensei, who we don't really have a read on what happened, and Ai's quest to find out what happened to Kueto. And I did see one idea. I forget who it was. If it was in my comment section, if it was on Discord, or if it was on a forum I read, suggesting that by adult child, Sawaki, and since the painting of Ai is of her older, maybe Sawaki has a fascination with Ai, but knows he can't act on that, so he imagines her grown up, and therefore is dating the mother, because that's still a thing, by the way. Like I don't know if we forgot that or not. He's doing that because it's the closest he can get to the idea of Ai older, where it's acceptable. Like, there's something weird going on there, and I'm wondering if that's where we're going here with an adult child. And maybe that led into the reason why Koito committed suicide, because the painting was of Ai, not of her, despite their closeness. Maybe Koito had a fascination with Sawaki-sensei, and maybe fancied him, but realized he was far more obsessed with Ai. Something like that, maybe, could be what type of theme they're going for. But yeah, this show is very, very weird. I love it. It's beautiful to look at, and I share the concerns of maybe pacing towards the end, but I guess we'll see what happens. If anyone finds out if next week's episode is the last episode, or if there will be one more before that, please let me know in the comments, because in theory, this is the penultimate episode, next week is the finale, but because of that recap, I don't know if they're reshuffling it, if they're going to do an OVA to wrap it up. I don't know. That's a bad idea. I hope they don't do that. But I guess we'll see how that ends up going. So, loading up the episode here, as per usual. These are time-based format actions here on YouTube. If you want to see full picture-in-picture, you can go to my Patreon down in the description below. £4 a month gets you access to all picture-in-picture actions I do on the channel, which is everything from this season and future seasons. Certain backdated shows, Patreon request shows such as School Live, which will follow directly after this. Also movie reactions, new one coming up very, very soon. But here on YouTube we have to do time-based, so bottom left of the screen you'll see a time for the episode. I count down 3, 2, 1, play. Then on play, start the episode, I start the episode, and we'll be in sync. Watch this one on Funimation since they licensed it this season. We have the Aniplex logo, then the Funimation logo, so about 12 seconds logos, give or take. You can use screen flash on my face or the mic to tell when the thing is transitioning. Pro tip, look at this part of my headset, it's very reflective. And with all that said, let's get into this week's episode, shall we? In 3, 2, 1, play. Aniplex. Funimation. Cheers. Here we go. Oh. Rika's completed hers as well. She's going to fade again, isn't she? And... yep. And let me guess, Creepy Butterfly Girl's going to be there now? Creepy Butterfly Girl? Wings spread this time? Oh, no, different. That's... oh. Oh. That laugh is brilliant. Huh? Who's Frill? Did I miss something? Was there a Frill mentioned last episode? I can't remember. Yeah, no. Um. Oh, oh God. Okay, they're not here. I is. You gonna go take a nosy at the house now? I feel like this is a bad idea, but OP time. Okay, leave us on suspense on that one. Okay, yeah, that was creepy. So it wasn't the same girl, but knows of the other one, which was Hyphen, right? Is the other one Hyphen? Then also mentioned Frill. I don't remember who Frill is, if we've mentioned her before or not. Both Rika and Momoe have completed theirs. Rika didn't. It's interesting because with Momoe we saw, I think, a very important one because it was dealing with issues of gender identity, right? And that's something that Momoe also has her connection with. Being seen as a boy that people fall in love with, but wanting to be viewed as a girl. There's a small parallel there for the transgender character we also had in The Egg. And maybe because it hit so close to home, it helped her trauma out, and therefore that unlocked Haruka for her. With Rika, we didn't really get to see what unlocks Chiemi. It's just like, oh, Rika's also unlocked Chiemi. So I don't know if the fact that we dealt with a transgender character for Momoe was necessarily relevant in the end or not. I assume it would be, but here we go. No one there to greet us? I mean, this is kind of creepy. I don't like this. Yeah, I would have been out of here ages ago. Fuck this. Okay, run for some books, papers, probably research notes, I'm guessing. Clock with no. Who are the people on the wall? Do we recognize any of them? Huh? Who's doing this? What is this? Warriors of Eros. Right, Eros and Thanatos. God of life, God of death. Although life is God of life and fertility, right? There they are in the picture. Okay, someone crossed out like that, that's suspicious. Baraka. Birthday? Uh-huh. Made a girl? Oh, shit. Okay. Flashback time. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. AI strategy. Okay. Hmm. This is creepy. 14, huh? The age of every other character we are interacting with, basically. Have we seen that design before? What even fluid is that? This is so creepy. So creepy. Frill, okay. Well, the experiment seems to have been successful. Mm-hmm. Something's gonna change, though. What's with this noise? Mm-hmm. Who's this? Okay. Right. That's okay. Wife material? Okay, good person's works too. Probably not. I mean, yes. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Hmm. Again, what's with that tick almost? Hmm. Didn't want them taken away. Hmm. So you make another one. Lots of different designs. Hmm. Right. Hmm. Um. No. Holy shit. The kid survived. Maybe. Possibly. Oh. Oh. I mean, yes, AI, but still. Oh. Holy shit, this got so messed up. Mm-hmm. Something else is gonna happen though. Just forgotten about for all this time. Hmm. Yeah. What about Frill? Wait, what? Whoa, whoa. Uh, okay. Why do I feel like that's going to be a parallel for Sawaki? Why do I feel like that's meant to be an intentional parallel there? Huh. And the same tick. That same tick. Why? Okay. This is getting so fucking messed up and complicated already. So, the sudden fascination with it. Mm-hmm. Going to retrieve her. Oh. What? Ah, no. Mm-hmm. The start of the fascination. Hmm. Hmm. That was the episode? She couldn't break an egg. Who made that last one? Who made that last little? That was actually quite unsettling. I really enjoyed that episode for how unsettling it was. I don't know how we end now with one episode. Well, in theory, one episode left. I don't know how you wrap that up, but that was a really unsettling episode, and I love it. And this is also way too cheery for what just happened. Wow, okay. Hmm. Alright. An unvanquished warrior. Who said that to be continued at the end there? Whose voice line was that? Let me just go back a second. See if I can hear it again. So I talked over it. Next time. I think that was yeah, I think that was I. Which makes sense. Wow, we didn't touch on Sawaki at all, huh? Great. We ended with Sawaki, we don't touch on Sawaki. Fucking fantastic. God. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What do I think here? Temptation of death. Love. Yeah, the laughing makes people happy thing is creepy as fuck. I really like how Frill and Dot and Hyphen and everything is very creepy. I love the creepiness of them. So yeah, those are the ones that so Dot and Hyphen are the ones that Frill created. They said they made the Wonder Eggs and stuff, but I wonder how exactly the Wonder Eggs work in that regard then, to take them to that point, and how Hyphen and Dot are in that world. I wonder how that ends up working. I'm curious as to how Frill managed to influence that suicide as well. Like, it was obvious what Frill did with the first one. Like, that was fucking crazy. I just don't know. Also, that little I can't see that action anymore without being a little unsettled now. Do you think they're setting up a second season here? Do you think? Do you think they really want a second season out of this? Do you think they are planning for it? Hence, why the pacing seems a little off, and how they might not be able to get a full episode out of it. It seems likely, right? It seems likely they might try and go for that route, but at the same time, I don't know if they can actually. God. I'm really enjoying it though. That episode was very, very enjoyable and went by very quickly, which was nice. But I'm so curious about Frill and what influence she actually is having. Because like, it was clear. I mean, they've programmed her without a sense of. I mean, theory, when they created her, right? They wouldn't have programmed her with a sense of death, essentially, right? Like, She's an AI. She is immortal. Why does she need a sense of life and death? And maybe that's playing into why she has a warped perception of it. But she still had that jealousy in order to kill Akka's wife. They can't wrap this up in a single episode. It's just not possible. So either there is going to be 2 more, and they've added an extra one because of the recap episode that had to go in, or they're setting up for season 2. That's the only 2 ways about it. Or it's going to be a very disappointing ending. It could also be that. But I guess we'll see. And here I was praising original works for being able to plan ahead very effectively because they would never have to run into pacing issues because you already know exactly how much time you got to fill with your story. Boy, do I look like an idiot now. I guess we'll see, though. But I can see why people are getting a bit more concerned about this adaptation as time goes on because it seems more and more likely that there may be an issue with how it ends. More and more likely, anyway. We'll see. I won't be too pessimistic on it because it does still have a lot of potential. And I like I said, I liked this episode. Seeing the Akko and Araka backstory, which leads to Frill, who is creepy as fuck. And that leads into the events that happens. Again, that so creepy. So fucking creepy. Yeah, it just seems odd to go from Sawaki to here's Frill and everything that happens with Dot and Hyphen. Now, where's the... Hang on, let me just go back. I have to use another website for this because Funimation sucks to scroll through. When she was creating more, I just want to go back real quick. Because she wanted more, right? There it is. She wants to make them herself. See, there's the black one, which is almost certainly going to be Hyphen, the butterfly girl we saw originally. Then there's 2 more. She made 3. Or, wait. Yeah, she made 3, but only 2 of them have pipes and such going into them. One is just left there hanging free. I don't know if that's intentional or not. Or it just symbolizes the progress they've made on them. But yeah, we've got 3 of them. So we know Hyphen and Dot. And we've met them. Who's the third? Because it's Frill, Hyphen Dot, and then a third one. I got a feeling we're going to meet the third one next time. I've got the feeling that I might run into the third one. Or, wait, Neru runs into the third one, I runs into Frill herself? Is Frill even in this world? Like, what is Frill doing? What happened to Frill after Uraka took Frill away? What happened then? God, there's so many questions. So many goddamn questions. And this show's going in a weird direction. But it was always going to go in a weird direction, let's be real. But maybe excessively weird? I'm getting Gekido worries here in the fact that maybe you're trying to do something excessive with it. But we'll see. It's going to depend on pacing of next episode and if that actually is the finale. But I think they might set up a second season if they can't wrap it up this time. Or they'll start up an OVA or something like that to wrap it up. We'll see. But anyway, that's going to do it for you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Like, aside from the overall plot implications and stuff, the creepiness of Frill and the creepiness of that entire scene and build-up and everything was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. The actual implications of what it's going to have for the future of the plot and stuff, now I'm a bit more concerned. But I really like Frill and her relevance now, if you get what I mean. It's kind of hard to explain, but I hope it kind of comes across in what I'm saying. But leave a like if you enjoyed the episode. Leave a comment on what you thought of the episode and the direction this is going. Do you share some of the pacing concerns that others seem to be having? Or are you confident that they might actually be able to pull this off? Maybe even with a second season. But don't forget to hit subscribe to see next week's finale, maybe. We'll see. As well as the rest of the Winter 2021 lineup that's wrapping up on the channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, see you guys later.